Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome here to another official transfer announcement this January. Yerry Mina is officially now a FC Barcelona player. He joins Felipe Coutinho in signing for Barca in the winter transfer window, and it is all done, signed, sealed, and he will arrive expectedly in Barcelona to sign his contract and possibly be presented tomorrow in front of the Camp Nou fans. 11.8 million was the official transfer fee, slightly lower than we expected to Palmeiras. Obviously 9 million euros was agreed for the summer. We brought this move forward, we've signed him early, and we've managed to get him for just 11.8 million euros, which in the modern market, for an upcoming player, somebody with some talent, somebody with a bit of quality, that is a very, very good deal indeed, if he does go on to achieve the things that Barcelona clearly expect him to do. He will be the first Colombian ever to play for Barcelona, and just the 10th Colombian ever in the history of La Liga, so certainly he is making some history in his arrival. He will also be the tallest player in our current squad at 1.95 meters high, 6'5". He stands very much taller than most of our team, to be perfectly honest, and he will have a release clause of 100 million euros, which is really, really interesting to see, because Mina's release clause 100 million euros, Coutinho obviously just signed his release clause 400 million euros. I hope now this sort of brings to an end the time where we're giving out stupidly low release clauses. Obviously Samuel Umtiti's release clause still stands at just 60 million euros. I hope now in 2018, moving forward, we can put an end to that time where we wasn't offering big release clauses, and hopefully now Mina at 100 million does put an end to that. The board may well have learned their lesson. Barca obviously officially announcing their news this morning on their official social media accounts. They describe Yerry Mina as a physical presence, as his height suggests, but also a quick ball-playing defender who has a lot of quality and a lot of talent. So very high praise from Barcelona indeed. He also can chip in with goals. He's somebody that obviously primarily defends. He's very tall, he's very strong, he's good in aerial battles, but he does contribute also in the other end of the pitch, and he has scored some goals throughout his career. 20 career goals so far for Yerry Mina, and as we spoke about before, very extravagant celebrations coming from the Colombian centre-back. We're all very, very excited to see if he can sort of bring those celebrations and that sort of flamboyance to the Barcelona scene, and also to the dressing room as well. I was looking at some reports from some Colombian journalists and people who'd watched him in Brazil as well, and they do say that he's very much a character who can liven up the place. Somebody maybe in the sort of shadow of Dani Alves. When he was here, he was always very vibrant, he was always very positive, and we could do with certainly having somebody like that in the dressing room just to shake things up and put a smile on everybody's faces. He is expected to wear the number 24 shirt when he does eventually sign. Like I say, tomorrow should be that day, and that 24 shirt has been free ever since it was departed by Jeremy Matthews. So he has got some very big shoes to fill there in that number 24 shirt, but he is expected to arrive in Barcelona this afternoon. Right now he is travelling in from Colombia. He's got a flight that does arrive at around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon over here, and he was basically waiting in Colombia before the news was official. Then he was going to travel. He wasn't going to do it beforehand. He was given the go-ahead this morning when Barcelona announced it. He's now began his voyage to Barcelona, and like I say, he is expected to be presented tomorrow at the Camp Nou. He'll sign his contract, he'll be presented in front of the fans, and he will then officially become a Barcelona player. It also run a poll just about 30 minutes ago when the news was announced, just to see how you guys were feeling with regard to the Yerry Mina signing. So far, everybody seems to be pretty much on board with the signing. The majority of you, 54%, believe that he's a good player. 28% of you are very, very excited about his signing. 16% of you think that he's a bit average. Only 1% and another 1% are not happy or very annoyed with the transfer. So in general, very much good feedback from you guys with regard to Yerry Mina. I think we're all a bit undecided right now on exactly what he's going to bring. He is a bit of an unknown quantity. We don't really know exactly what he's going to excel at and exactly how he's going to adapt to European football, but he is certainly somebody who comes in with some good reputations. Everything that I've heard from the Colombian media and also people who have seen him play for Palmeiras in the past year or so have said pretty good things. They've said that he can play with the ball, that he is very much a physical presence. His pace at times has been questioned, but they've said that he's very good in terms of clearances, blocks, getting himself in the way of shots, sliding tackles, recoveries, and things like that. So he can certainly come in and play a part, certainly develop, and I think Barcelona have some very high hopes for this man if he can adapt and achieve that potential that he does have. An interesting fact here on Yerry Mina is that he actually started out as a goalkeeper. That was the position that he was brought up with in his family. Then he, though, did adapt to a centre-back, and since then, obviously, he's played well. He's played in Colombia, he's played in Brazil, he's played for 3 clubs across those 2 countries, and now he's going to move to Europe, and now the big challenge for him is to play there for the first time, adapt as quickly as he can, and show what he showed in South America, on the European scene, in La Liga, and of course in the bigger competitions like the Champions League as well, which of course he never would have played in. He has got 9 Colombian caps, though he's certainly starting to pull his weight on the Colombian international scene. He's actually been included in some squads ahead of Davinson Sanchez in the starting lineup of late. That's really interesting. He went for Tottenham for an awful lot of money, and a lot is expected of Davinson Sanchez, so if Yerry Mina can be pushing that sort of door, that's certainly some good signs. And obviously, with the signing of Yerry Mina, it is now all but confirmed that Javier Mascherano will officially be leaving the club in this January transfer window. He will be heading to China and the Chinese Super League, and that is very much expected to be announced officially very, very soon indeed. And like I said in yesterday's preview video for the game tonight against Celta Vigo, I would certainly expect a good send-off from the Barcelona players, from the Barcelona fans for Javier Mascherano, because he's been an incredible servant over his time at the club. He arrived at the club, he was expected to be a backup player, but he's really earned the right to be regarded, I would say, as very close to being a legend of the club. Really incredible service. He's always given us 110%. He's definitely been a leader without the armband, and of course he does leave with that one historic goal coming from the penalty spot. And I think if Yerry Mina could achieve even half of what Mascherano did at the club, he will be a very, very big success indeed. And just like Mascherano, it is very, very big shoes to fill at Barcelona in his absence. But what I want to ask you guys is simply, how much do you think Yerry Mina will actually play at Barcelona, at least in the short term? You know, we've obviously got a season or so left. He's signed a 5.5-year deal, so he's going to be here, of course, for a long time, expectedly. But in the sort of first 6 months to a year, how much do you think Yerry Mina is going to be playing for Barcelona? We've obviously got Samuel Umtiti, who, when he gets back from injury, is no doubt probably our first choice centre-back. Then you've got Gerard Piqué, of course, a very experienced, somebody who will play nearly every game if he can, injury permitting. And then you've got Thomas Vermaelen. That's what makes this very, very difficult indeed, because obviously when we've had some injuries with Piqué, with Umtiti, with Mascherano as well, Vermaelen has come in right now, and he's been really, really impressive. Every game that he's played, he's looked very, very solid indeed. He's managed to stay injury-free as well. So that's made it really difficult to see exactly where Yerry Mina will fit in. I think originally we were looking at bringing him in as a third centre-back, but I think as it stands right now, coming into the squad, he would probably be the 4th choice centre-back, but that could actually help him in the long run. There's not a great amount of pressure now coming in from a league that is, not, like I said, he hasn't played in before, and there's not a lot of pressure on his shoulders to go straight into the team and make an impression. Right now, he can settle in at his own pace. He's got 6 months to settle in before the sort of new season starts. Then we might see him integrated into the team a bit more. I just think right now, Vermaelen has been so good, it's going to be really, really difficult to drop him. We've got Umtiti, who's so impressive as well. And I just think, unless we get some injuries, which of course can happen, we've seen it earlier on in the season where so many of our central defenders all got injured or suspended in sort of one go. So things like that could happen. It is a long season. We're still in 3 different trophies, the Copa del Rey, the Champions League, the League as well. So certainly Mina, I think, will get some game time, but I think at least in the immediate future, he will probably play a bit part role, a backup role, and then be eased into it and developed at our own pace. So it's going to be interesting to see how much Mina plays in the remainder of the season, and also how he's going to play as well. How quickly is he going to make an impact at Barcelona? But if he can adapt to Barcelona, if he can adapt to Europe and La Liga, you think of Yerry Mina, 23 years old, Samuel Umtiti, 24 years old, you think of those two together, and I spoke about it before when I was speaking about Mina in a video, they could be a very, very good combination going forward. If Mina can come in, realise that potential, grow as a Barcelona player, alongside Samuel Umtiti, not as tall, not as physical as possibly Mina is, but Umtiti does have that element of pace. He is quite athletic. I think both of them together could be a very, very good partnership at the centre of our defence, and could be something very strong going forward, looking to the future, if Mina can come in and give us that potential. And will he be the success that we already hope that he can be? Because if he does turn out to be a success, 11.8 million euros for this signing will definitely be an absolute steal in this current market. Absolutely nothing really, to be honest. If he can achieve something, that'll be a really impressive signing. So we're going to have to wait and see what he can do. We will find out very, very shortly indeed. But as always, guys, please do let me know your thoughts on Mina down below. If you have seen a bit more of him, please do let me know your conclusions. What do you think you can bring to the team? What do you think his strengths are? What do you think his weaknesses are? What's he going to need to work on to become the player we need him to be? Leave all those thoughts down below, guys. I will have more videos coming up for you very, very shortly indeed. I will be going to the Celta Vigo game later on and recording some footage for you guys. And I'm very, very much much looking forward to that game and sharing it once again with you. So enjoy the game later on, guys. I will see you after that game with some reaction. But until then, as always, Vesca El Barça. Barça! Barça! Barça!